Testing. Yo. Oh man, let me get a little lower. Ow. It's Spongepimp. I'm not at your girl's crib.
She's at my crib.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first ever, what am I going to call this? Phonk monthly, Phonk weekly? I'm not 100% sure about the name. Still brainstorming ideas when it comes to the actual title of the actual videos that are going to be a part of this. Not sure if it's going to be a series or if it's going to be a one-time thing. Depends on the turnout. I asked this question on my story, even though I think like maybe 3 or 4 people actually voted on it, on if I should actually start making a series like this when it comes to both tapes that come out, when it comes to recommending any drum kits, when it comes to anything that has to deal with both the community and Phonk. So I just came up with this idea because I've been trying to brainstorm anything that could be of value to anybody that is actually in the community or anybody that's actually new to the community. So this is going to be my first attempt. So a little bit of background about me, even though it's not going to be that long.
That's what she said.
I haven't been producing as long as a lot of the OGs, I would say, when it comes to both this genre as well as other genres that actually expand upon the Phonk genre. But I have been listening to the actual genre for, I would say, the better part of about 4 or 5 years, probably since I actually graduated from high school, which is about maybe 4.5 years ago. And I just got into producing both soul, Phonk mainly, and also trap and hip hop within the last year or so. I wouldn't say I'm an expert when it comes to the genre, but I do feel like I know the community a little better than somebody that's probably getting introduced to this genre. If you have a Spotify account, I'm just going to leave a link in the description to my profile, which has basically every single playlist or anything that you want to know. If you want to know about any sort of Phonk artist that has a tape out, an example right now, I just published PurplePosse's new updated issue series and their Purple Party tapes, which is issue 1 through 10 and Purple Party 1 and 2, along with people like Codewine Jacob, DJ Smokey, Berrymane, Freddie Confetti, Roland Jones. I think I have about more than half of his tapes. Soudiere, and I think the next one I'm gonna actually make after finishing this video is gonna be a DJ Young Van playlist, because I Need More Blood 2 just came out I think about a month or 2 ago, and I still haven't made a playlist for that, and I still haven't made a playlist for that tape yet. With that being said, my recommendations for this month, because it is Halloween, and I highly recommend anybody to listen to, if you haven't already listened to, the Roland Jones and Berrymane tape. Yeah, I've actually been waiting for this tape for the longest time because they've been going back and forth when it comes to both collabs on each other's tapes, and for the very first time, they actually made an entire tape with each other. There's also one song that features Julian Avila. It's called Hat to the Side. Favorite is actually going to be the intro, No Shame in My Game, and Shake Got Hot. That's my recommendation for anybody that's listening to any new tapes this month. I know Roland Jones and Berrymane are pretty consistent when it comes to tapes, so I'm 100% sure that there is actually a deluxe edition to this as well, along with Roland Jones being very consistent on Spotify as well, because I'm pretty sure he has about 4 or 5 tapes that he released, I think, this year alone, and I think he's working on something else within the next month or 2, just from the collabs that he's been putting out. So shout out to him. If you want sort of a gritty Memphis or dirt type of feel, because there's also a subgenre in Phonk in general that's just dirt, I highly recommend Mehkel. I actually just finished this tape about a few hours ago, just because I was actually recording this video and I wanted a different example from somebody I actually know, or someone that I actually had a conversation with in Discord. I recommend In the Mud by Mehkel. I know my favorite is probably like one of the very last songs. Actual tape is Out of Pocket, because I had it on repeat for like the last probably like 10-15 minutes. And the last tape recommendation I have for this month would have to be Evil Days EP. It's a tape posted on Blueberry's account. Currently, I think the only tape that's actually on Spotify out of all these are gonna be Mehkel's. Yeah, the only tape that's actually on both Spotify and SoundCloud right now is Mehkel's Into the Mud. Not Into the Mud, In the Mud. And the last tape recommendation I actually have for anybody that's actually getting into listening to any new releases within the last month is gonna have to be Evil Days by NorthPosse, Cassyb, and Blueberry. My favorite song is Cruise Control with Cassyb, and coming in second would have to be Ain't Shook with NorthPosse and Cassyb. I know Blueberry and NorthPosse collab on a lot of stuff, especially off the top of my head, I just published to Bear Out of Northside, I think volume 1 through 4 4 if I'm correct. I think it's 1 through 4. Yeah, it's Bear out of Northside 1 through 4. I just published that on Spotify for one of my playlists, so I definitely recommend anybody to also check those albums and EPs out as well, because those two, when you mix them together, it has the best combination. Now I'm gonna talk about the Phonk show, the very most recent Phonk show that was actually just published about less than 24 hours ago, which is with Backwhen and Techaholic, which is the host. This is actually going to be something that I'm going to talk about in this video as well. It's also something that I actually do want to get into as well, because I know there's a lot of people in Canada, such as DJ Main and people like Vamp and Backwhen as well, that have actually done physical shows in the US, or they've done physical shows in Canada. And I think on T's story, he actually posted that he was actually doing something with DJ Smokey as well at one of his shows. He was actually, I think he was playing a set at one of his actual shows, and and that's actually pretty cool. The main things I actually got from the actual Phonk show would have to be booking shows, and I'm actually gonna put a few photos up from the Vamp show that I actually went to when he was actually in the DMV area. I actually went to one of his shows about I think 2 or 3 months ago. It was about 2 or 3 months ago. I went with, well, I didn't go with them, but I did go with Bad Kids Good People. Pigma was also in my area as well, so shout out to the DMV for that. I think the main things that I highlighted while actually listening to the interview was Vamp having a big following and selling out the black box for the first time, and having online producers go professional, having more professional when it comes to having physical shows versus everything being online. Because within the last 5 or 6 years, I know AP, or Always Proper, however you want to say it, they were the main people that actually had shows in Texas, and they had shows where instead of growing a following online first, they did it in person. So that's basically where the entire genre is at right now when it comes to having producers go from being online in their rooms all day producing and mixing and mastering their own tracks to actually getting physical shows, such as people like Soudiere, people like Vamp, Backwhen. I feel like I'm missing a lot of people when it comes to that, but like the 3 people that I know that are having shows, and I'm not speculating anything, this is just from listening in general. I know Vamp's had shows in the US. I'm pretty sure Soudiere has also performed in some shows in the US, and I also know that Backwhen has also performed in many shows in the US as well, because he's from the US. Phonk becoming mainstream isn't going to tie into the Cowbell Spotify playlist, because I'm pretty sure everybody knows what that playlist has done. But having people transition from online and getting tickets sold more at shows, and having more shows and tours in both the US and Canada, that's the main thing that I actually got. I'm still listening to the interview as I'm actually recording this as well, but this is actually the notes that I took, because there's going to be plenty of shows with there being the Halloween season and people getting prepared and having preparation for 2023 when it comes to having their sets ready, having collabs ready, and just traveling in general when it comes to finding people and getting more eyes on the actual Phonk community and the Phonk genre. Last but not least, best drum kit releases. So I actually am going to talk about Sky's drum kit again, because this was actually this is actually one, if not the only drum kit review I actually did on this channel, and I'm probably going to do a few more. I'm going to put Rob's drum kit in the description because it is extremely saucy. I've listened to the preview before, and it's beyond great. Acapellas and the vocals and everything are, I'm pretty sure everything is already chopped up and labeled. I'm pretty sure it's either 25 euros or 25 pounds. About 100 samples, 50 acapellas, a bunch of other stuff. Over 300 sounds. Going to best drum kit releases. I'm 100% sure there's going to be a Premeditated Murder sample pack or a drum kit in the near future if there isn't one already. But I also recommend Rob's kit as well, and Sky's drum kit. I actually did a review on this drum kit, let's say about, I would say a good 2 or 3 months ago, if I can remember. I'm pretty sure my memory is kind of foggy because it's been a while since I've actually done that drum kit review, but I highly recommend those drum kits. And yeah, I think that's everything for the video. If I missed anything, it's probably because I haven't listened to their tape, or I haven't finished their tape. Currently working on finishing and listening to more tapes and finding more drum kits in the community so that I can actually make videos like this and have content out in the future as well. So I hope you guys actually enjoy this video. Let me know if you guys actually want this to be either a weekly thing, a monthly thing. Yeah, hope you guys enjoy, and I will see you all. What the hell do I call this thing? Oh yes, Spongepimp signing off. I'll see you guys in the next video.